Good morning, everyone. Here's your daily weather and hazard briefing for Friday, April 23rd. We've got showers and thunderstorms on tap. We have a little bit left today. We have a break, and then we start to see a pretty good round of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, and those rounds continue at least through Monday here in central and eastern Idaho. With that storm moving east today, storm number one, there will be some gusty winds and a few lingering showers during the day. Like I said, the next storm arrives later tomorrow, and off and on rain and snow up in the mountains. We might see a little bit of snow at times trying to fall below 6,000 feet, but I think most of this, especially accumulation-wise, is going to be above 7,000 feet as we go with this storm. And just about every day with that low, especially as it gets closer, we're going to see a few thunderstorms across the region. Right now, nothing severe in terms of severe weather, but we are to that time of year we can get thunderstorms across the region. Satellite loop shows this one storm finally shifting to the east. You see a little bit of cloud cover still lingering over our area. Here comes the low that is eventually going to set up shop offshore, and it's going to take its time. It looks like the latest forecast trend is by Monday afternoon, that low is right over Idaho and over much of the western U.S. It will shift to the east on Tuesday, and by the middle of next week, high pressure is going to bring some warmer weather. May not be dry, but definitely some warmer weather would be coming our way right about that time. Looking at the weather and impacts outlook matrix, you don't see much in the way of impact for today. With the snow in some of the higher elevations Saturday and to Sunday, we might see some minor impacts over some of the passes. It's going to be breezy at times. Now, Sunday night into Monday, that's when we're looking at a better chance of some snow up in our higher elevations. There might be some slushy roads, maybe some slick roads for some of our higher passes. And certainly if you got plans this weekend to be heading out into the mountains, you have to be prepared for more than just warm conditions. Got to be prepared for some wind. You got to be prepared for some snow, especially during the colder times over the next few days. And then again, we start to see the impacts really weakening, letting up as that storm system eventually starts to move on to the east by Tuesday. So how are things looking for the rest of the day? We still have a few showers across the area this morning, and that trend will continue to shift to the east during the morning hours. And as we go into this afternoon, we'll start to see a few instability showers. I don't think we're going to see thunderstorms today. That threat of thunder is really, really low at this time. You can see a resurgence over the Snake Plain into the eastern highlands later this afternoon and this evening. As we go into tonight and tomorrow, maybe a few showers moving into the central mountains, but you can see a pretty good push of showers. Might be a rumble or thunder or two in the morning with this big band shifting to the north and to the east. But you'll notice as we go on in the afternoon, as that clears, we get some pretty hefty showers and thunderstorms developing behind that, and that trend will continue into tomorrow evening. For this round anyway, we start to see it thin out a bit as we go into Saturday night, Sunday morning. But as we go into Sunday and Monday, the chance of showers, thunderstorms, rain, and snow becomes more widespread. We've been having some issues with some wind. We have more wind returning this afternoon. You can see some northerly winds coming out of the central mountains into the upper Snake Plain down towards the Magic Valley, the South Hills. The winds are more out of the west and southwest. As we go through the morning and in the afternoon, those winds will pick up. Here we are by mid-afternoon. Wind gusts around 20 to 30 miles per hour, especially from Pocatello westward down into the South Hills. Also in some of the higher elevations of the central mountains, about 15 to 25 is a pretty good number across most of central and eastern Idaho. And those winds will die down tomorrow evening. And we will start to see, with the next wave moving in, some southerly winds, especially along the benches of the southern end of the Snake Plain into the Magic Valley and the Treasure Valley. Those winds pick up during the morning on Saturday, and we go into the Saturday afternoon. Some of these gusts 25 to 35 miles an hour, and that's without thunderstorms. We'll probably see some higher gusts, especially if we get thunderstorms developing later in the day on Saturday. The trend continues into Saturday evening. Some gusty winds remaining across the Snake Plain Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then we'll see them picking up on Sunday. Maybe not as strong, and maybe the stronger winds that we see are a little bit farther north versus more widespread across our area, and even some more wind coming in on Monday with that storm moving through. So let's take a look at our forecast for temperatures and such over the next couple of days. Temperatures generally right around 60 over much of the Snake Plain. You head into the Treasure Valley and the Magic Valley. We're sitting in the mid-60s, even warmer heading towards Glens Ferry and Mountain Home. Up in the Central Mountains, temperatures in the valleys in the 50s, Chalice 58, the same in Salmon. If you're headed up into the really high elevations, we're going to still be in the 30s and 40s this afternoon. And like I said, just a smattering of light snow on the really high peaks over portions of the Central Mountains and also over towards the Tetons and along the Wyoming border there with Yellowstone National Park. Temperatures for tomorrow morning, we're going to be pretty warm with the wind and the clouds. Temperatures above freezing over much of the Snake Plain, the lower elevations. The only place that will probably stay below freezing looks like up in the Island Park area, the Teton Valley, portions of the Southeast Highlands, and certainly in the Central Mountains. Mid-20s in Stanley, but Chalice in the morning be well above freezing, the same in Mackay. Going into tomorrow afternoon, even with the cloud cover, where we have the cloud cover hanging on longer, it's going to be a little cooler up to the north. Rexburg, about 2 to 3 degrees colder tomorrow versus today. Chalice, pretty similar, but you see temperatures once you get from Pocatello back to the south and to the west, very similar to yesterday, maybe just a degree or two cooler across the board. And for tomorrow, with that snow moving in, most of the snow will be above 7,000 feet. We're looking at maybe about 1 to 3 inches over the Sawtooth and the surrounding mountains, the Lemhi Range, the Lost River Range. Some of those areas may see over an inch of snow. Also up around Reynolds Pass along the Montana border, and heading over into the Tetons, a couple of inches there as well during the day tomorrow. And it's going to be showery. Now, the first batch coming through the morning will be more widespread, showery as we go into the afternoon. Sunday morning, we're going to continue to be warm over much of the area, although some places still remaining below freezing in the Central Mountains. Stanley at 23 degrees. We're going to set at Island Park right around 30 degrees, but temperatures in the low 40s along the interstate corridor back towards Boise as well. More clouds and precipitation on Sunday. It's going to be much cooler. Temperatures staying only in the 50s in the lower elevations. Stanley 45 degrees, more 30s and 40s up in the high country. And snow amounts on Sunday, we're looking at more snow falling. We're going to be watching for some snow, especially across the southern and eastern highlands. Some of these places may see a couple of inches, 4 to 8 inches across the Tetons, including Teton Pass for Sunday if you're traveling. An inch or two, maybe a little bit higher, and for the highest mountains up in the Island Park area. And for the Sawtooth, we're looking at about 2 to 4 inches, maybe a few locally higher spots, especially just over towards, if you're heading towards Loman, over towards the Soldiers as well. And some pretty decent snow amounts in the higher elevations up towards Lemhi County, up towards Lost Trail Pass as well. And what's going to be interesting is that we might see some decent rainfall in some of our mountainous areas as we go through the weekend. Now, for Monday morning, temperatures in a lot of areas still chilly, but above freezing. But it's going to be pretty cold across the Central Mountains with that low moving overhead. That's going to bring some colder weather our way, continuing on Monday across the area as well. And look at those snow amounts continuing. A lot of the high, mid and higher elevations looking about 1 to 3 inches of snow. It's not going to be all the time necessarily, and some of this will probably melt, especially if we get a little bit of a lull in some of the activity. So these are just accumulations that could occur across the board, and we're going to be watching for the big holes, 1 to 3 inches. Another chance of about 3 to 6 inches over in the Tetons, including Teton Pass. The Bear River Range looking at about 2 to 4 inches down there as well. And heading into Tuesday, as that system moves out, we're going to try to cool off on Tuesday morning, but that's going to allow us to warm up a little bit on Tuesday afternoon. Still some showers around, especially across portions of the southern and eastern highlands during that particular time frame. Looking ahead to next week, it's going to be well into the 70s by about a week from now. If we get a stronger ridge in here that some indications are we might see some places pushing 80 by this time next week. So like I said, we have one storm moving out today, then we have a break, and then we start to get into a pretty wet pattern starting later tomorrow, and that continues to at least into Monday on a widespread basis, trying to move out on Tuesday. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. Do stay safe out there, everyone.